1995, Mark defeated more than 20,000 contestants from 14 countries to win the illustrious Toastmasters World Championship of Public Speaking. Since then, he has delivered more than 3,500 presentations to more than 1.7 million people on 4 different continents. As an expert in helping people overcome their fears to reach their maximum potential, Mark has been featured in the New York Times, Men's Health, on CNN Headline News, and even had his own PBS special, which was nominated for an Emmy Award. He has shared his insights across a wide variety of industries to major corporations, including Sprint, Sheraton, Principal Financial Group, Prudential, and Cathay Pacific Airways. Additionally, Mark has been a guest lecturer at premier academic institutions, such as Penn State University, Xavier University, and my graduate alma mater, the University of Florida. Please help me welcome Emmy Award-winning Mr. Mark Brown.
Thank you very much. Greetings, friends. Good morning. That yelling and screaming was past Mr. Governor Kimberly Boyd. Phil, as of now, she's your responsibility. Okay? I'll make sure you do that. Truth is, I gotta tell you, I'm so thrilled to be here. Several years ago, Kimmy, we get to call her Kimmy, had actually come to your district for an event, and we could never find a time that was sufficiently convenient for all of us. And the time has finally come, and I get to be here. So thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your program today. I am so excited. I've been traveling all over the world the last 20 years. I've been to some large conferences, some mid-sized conferences, and a few small ones like this. I gotta tell you, I am loving this group right here. So thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. It has taken me a few years to get here, and I think Kimberly might think I was trying to avoid her year, but no, it's not true. I appreciate her persistence, her consistency, and her commitment to leadership, which is what I want to discuss this morning. And please understand, I'm not a lecturer. I'm not a world champion speaker. I'm a fellow Toastmaster who learned a few things along the way, and I'd love to share them with you. Can we just talk today?
Sure.
Now, let's show of hands. Anyone here who's a leader, show me your hands. If you're a leader, show me your hands. Now, not every hand is in the air. You can count right for a second. Okay. You understand that if you are a grandparent, any grandparents here? You're a leader. Okay. If you are a manager at work, you're a leader. If you're a dad, a leader. Mom, a leader. Wife, leader. Husband, follower. Okay. Been there, done that myself. I tell you, life is really interesting because leadership sometimes is what we seek. You run for office, you stand for a position, you want to be a leader. Sometimes leadership is what they say, thrust upon us, and sometimes we fill a gap when someone is needed. Now, by show of hands, can you recall being asked to serve as a leader and your first thought was, run! And yet here you sit. So what happened? Someone may have told you that they believe you can accomplish this. They believe you can be a good leader, and they believe you can grow through the process. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I've been learning and growing for the last 4 years. And it's been quite a journey for me. My first taste of leadership began when I was in high school, I guess, and I was captain of my junior high school football team. Now, you say soccer in America, being Jamaican, we say football for one simple reason. You use your foot, you kick a ball, so it's football. And I was named captain of my junior high school team in 1975, and I had no idea what it meant to be a leader, but I learned several things along the way. And just by way of background, I went on to be my varsity soccer team captain. I went on to be my student council body president. And in Jamaica, it's kind of funny because you are elected to a role of head boy or head girl in your school. I went to an all-boys high school, 2,000 boys, Kingston, Jamaica. And I was elected as a head boy in 1970-something. And the trick was this: based upon the English system of government, you were given responsibility. And the big one was this: at the age of 18, I'm elected head boy. Feels pretty good. I get called sir by the other kids at school. It's pretty cool. You're a badge head boy. But then with the privilege of the position and the position comes a responsibility. There was one significant responsibility. High schools in Jamaica weren't part of what we call school boards and school systems and school districts. Each school was governed by its own individual board of governors. That's the way it was. And the elected head boy had a voting seat on the board of governors. How the school was run, how the budget was handled, who was appointed as principal and assistant principal. And at 18 years old, I got thrust into this environment of what it really means to be a leader. So I began to learn some basic principles in high school that have served me well for the rest of my almost 54 years now. And I tell you, I continue to learn, and hopefully I continue to grow. And during this process, I realized leaders need to know some things. So I began to put some thoughts down based on some of my experiences, and I came up with this: 7 secrets every leader must know. And I grew up in a family of educators and musicians. I mean, teachers have been part of my life. So I stole some teaching techniques from my mom, who was a math teacher, my mom's sister, who was an English teacher at my high school. I could not get away with anything. My grandma who taught at my elementary school, so I've got all of these educators in my life. So I'm going to steal a little technique from teaching and make sure everything I tell you rhymes. So you make sense? So 7 secrets every leader must know. My first secret isn't the secret. A man named Warren Buffett. He's a great leader, and I'll reference him later on. Some things he says really got my attention. But I think the first secret every leader must know: you should know what you don't know. Know what you don't know. Now, what do I mean by that? Sometimes when we're placed in a role of leadership, it's a great place to be, and I know what I'm doing, and it's my way or the highway. But nobody in the room has ever encountered anyone like that in your life, correct? Certainly nobody in this district would do that. That's not what you would do. But sometimes leaders would give the impression that they know everything. And it's their way, it has to be done that way, because that's how we've always done it. If I'm in charge, we'll do it my way. But we don't know everything. And it takes great courage, honesty, to admit, hey, I don't know everything, man. I mean, we can laugh now, but for years in this country, we like to take our leaders to task on what they don't know. Many, many years ago, when George W. Bush was running for president, there's a very popular video that went viral of him being interviewed by someone, and they were asking him all these different heads of states in the Middle East. They didn't know who that person was, don't know him, don't know her, and they used it as a means of showing how ignorant he was. I don't mean to get political here, but it isn't our right or our goal to show people up. But at the same time, it's not our place to say, well, I know everything, I'm in charge, we'll do it my way, because I know this. Because honestly, we don't know everything. I think it was Henry Ford said a great leader is someone who has sense enough to choose people to do certain things and are smart enough to let them do it. I can't know everything, but hopefully I'll have people around me who do know what I don't know. But I've got to commit to myself, as much as I'd like to know every area, every aspect of what I'm involved in, it's not possible. Ask anyone here who has served in any serious role of leadership. Did you know everything about your job? No. That's why we have committees and chair people. That's why we have people who work with us, who serve us, who help us, who support us, who stand alongside us. There are things I don't know very well. As a soccer team player, I was team captain. I called shots on the field. Now, I know here in America it's a little different high school, because American high schools, I coach soccer here, and the sideline is right here, the coach is here, and he's calling people and giving instructions. In American football, they got the headset on, and there's a guy up at the tower, and he tells the coach to run this play, and he calls the guy to cover it, and tell him what to do. I was privileged to not have that in high school in Jamaica, where it was. We played back in the 70s in Jamaica's National Stadium, the only stadium in the country. And from the sidelines where the benches were to the actual soccer field, you had to go to the cycling track, across a long jump pit, across 8 lanes of running track to get onto the field. What that meant was when we were on the field, we had to do what we were trained to do. We didn't have someone in our ear saying, go left, go right, pass the ball over there. We had to take it into our hands and our feet to do what we had to do. And being captain on the field, I couldn't be the goalkeeper and the left fullback and the striker. I can't be the quarterback and the running back. I can't do it. I don't know what's involved. Let's bring that to our lives, to our world. The Toastmasters. Hopefully you don't meet people like this, but some people, I'm in Toastmasters, and I am now a division governor. And the division will do what I say because I'm in charge. Is that really the way to go? Do you really know all the nuances? Do you understand what each club, which each area is dealing with? Do you really have all that knowledge? Why not become an ally? Align yourself with the people in that division, in that area, in those clubs. Meet them, find the key leaders within each group, and work with them to build a strong division, build a strong area, build a strong district. We certainly don't know everything, but I've got to admit that to myself. Now the trick is, maybe you found someone in your life who doesn't want to admit that they don't know everything. And you got to report to them. But nobody has a boss like that, right? No, because that can be tricky. And that's why it's great to be a Toastmaster. You practice excellent communication skills. The art of persuasion, effective listening. And if you're really good, you may encounter a leader who thinks they know everything, but they don't. But you are so good, you are so skilled, you are so adept at communicating that you let them think they know what they don't know. And everybody wins. Who's been down that road before? I know Dennis has. It really is interesting. And as life goes on, I have no clue what it's like being on the board, Dennis. I have no clue, different personalities, I have no idea. But when you collaborate with other leaders, you're going to find some personalities that's an alpha male or alpha female. Or get out of their way because they know everything. They're a freight train. Run you right over. The key is also to know how to deal with these kind of people. So I love being a Toastmaster. The skills that we learn to negotiate and communicate within this organization can help us tremendously. So if we know that we don't know everything, it means something else. It means we're willing to learn. If I realize that I don't know everything, I have to be willing to learn. And it comes down to one thing. True leadership, I've been told this for years, never really understood this when I was a young youngster. True leadership, what they call servant leadership. If my goal is to serve you well, then I'm willing to learn from you. I'm willing to admit that I don't know everything. I'm willing to do what I can to build you, your group, your club, your division, your organization as a leader. It does not mean standing your authority on everybody and running over the roughshod. Be willing to learn, because we want to learn something. It makes you a better and more effective leader. So leaders, we've got to know what we don't know. Warren Buffett says, one of the greatest things, I'm paraphrasing, every leader needs to know when to say no. Know when to say no. There is power in those 2 little letters, N-O. Be honest, show of hands, if you're willing. Have you ever had difficulty saying no? Whoa, wait, hold it up. Look around the room.